All right, welcome back. I know it's been a little bit. I didn't do a weekly post last week because I did a virtual bourbon tasting with Chad from Lone Stars Lounge. So he was the winner of last quarter's first place prize of the 24 note nosing kit, 3 sample bourbons, a Bourbon Bounty logoed snifter, and a virtual private tasting, which if anyone else wins and you're not a YouTube content creator, that's fine. We'll do a private tasting, but he's a content creator, so we decided to go live with it. But let's get into a regular review again. First one for 2022 right after this. All right, guys, we've got Clyde Mays single barrel. This is a straight bourbon whiskey. Now, I saved the little tag off of it. I normally just throw these away, but this tag on it said North Carolina Bourbon Society barrel number 166, so exclusively for that. So I kept the little tag because I'm looking on here and I don't see it, single barrel selection, but I don't see that it was, it doesn't say on the bottle that it was from that North Carolina Bourbon Society. I did pull the plastic off here so I wouldn't wrestle with it on camera. I took my thumbnail and cut the paper, but the cork has not been out of this bottle, so let's do that now. Ooh, nice cork pop. Bourbon Bounty snifter. Let's pour some here. And we will begin to review this single barrel, aged 5 years, a straight bourbon whiskey, single barrel selected bourbon from Clyde Mays, Conicum Ridge Distillery. So let's go ahead and give her a swirl here and we'll start checking color and legs. Color on it, medium amber. I've seen darker, I've seen lighter. So, you know, no big whoop there. As long as the flavors are coming out. Let's see, legs are starting to develop a little, but we're gonna nose this thing. All right, I'm getting oak right off the front. A hint of vanilla coming through. Not picking up a lot of spice on the nose. I don't know the mash bill on this. Distilled in Indiana, bottled by Conicum Brands, Bloomington, Indiana. This could be MGP juice. So we'll see. But this was a selected barrel. Now let me, the proof on this thing is 102 proof, non-chill filtered. So it has been filtered, but non-chill filtered, 102 proof, 51%. It's nosing light for over 100 proof. Yeah, it's nosing really light for that. Let me get the tongue wet. My daughter's calling. She'll have to wait. I'll call her back right after this. Don't like to give a lot of notes on that first sip, but the nose is deceiving. So I will say that, and then we'll get into more notes here shortly. There's a little more spice in here than what the nose gives up. Yeah, it has a good rich finish on it. Peppery on the back end, a little tobacco coming through on there, along with those oak notes. So very deceiving on the nose and color, but there is a sweetness down the middle of the tongue. And there's also a singe of heat down the middle of the tongue that lets you know that proof, I mean, I've had higher proof that didn't, you know, wasn't as much heat, but what that tells me is that this has probably been distilled lower and they didn't proof it down much. You got a lot of stand-up notes continuing to come through on this. Yeah, let that continue to go and wash, and we'll get into these. There's a molasses undertone to this, but not prominent. It's Has a sweetness to it, but it's a dark sweetness to this bourbon. It's really good. And I didn't pay an arm and a leg for it either. I think it was around $50-something or whatever, so not horrible. Yeah, I'm saying there's a little spice to it, but it's not like a true rye spice. I think it's got a little higher corn count, but there is some nuttiness from probably some barley and other things, and there's definitely a little wheat in here. But there's a good mix. It's a good mix. But if it is MGP, then we know the mash bill on those things. They only have a few. Yep. The notes are more prominent down the center of the tongue, not so much, and then it has a decent like 2-swallow finish on it. I wouldn't put this up there with like some of the best bourbons I've ever had, but it is a really, really good bourbon. And I'll go back to it again and again. And it's going to be a good one for when I do my live streams and things like that. I'll pull this one out every once in a while. It's a good, rich bourbon, and I like it, but I wish it had a few more notes in there. This is a little raisin coming through, but a lot of the notes are undertone notes. They're not real prominent. And I'm not really getting anything. It's well balanced, I'll tell you that. It is well balanced. I'm not getting anything that's like overpowering everything else. But I would like to see a few things come out a little bit stronger in this. But for the price point, I think they've done an excellent, excellent job with this for the price point. And I think they've priced it about right. Especially at the 102 proof, you know, this is what I expect to get around that price point. And if I'm stepping up to the 70s, 80s, I expect a heck of a lot more. But hey, this is right on the money. And like I said, not a bad bourbon at all. Guys, so with that, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up as always. Please like and subscribe, hit the bell down there for notifications, and I promise I'll keep bringing you these videos.